could you tell us a little bit about yourself? So like your name, your rank.
Well, my name is Matt King. I'm captain of the road patrol at the St. Clair County Sheriff's Office, and I've worked at the Sheriff's Office for 22 years.
How long have you been a part of law enforcement, and what positions, ranks have you worked on?
I've been a part of law enforcement for almost 24 years. I started out in Detroit Police Department as a patrolman. I worked there for 2 years and came to the St. Clair County Sheriff's Office. I've worked as a deputy, midnights and day shifts, as well as drug task force officer. I worked my way up through the ranks from sergeant to lieutenant up to captain, and currently my position is a captain of the road patrol.
Why did you choose to go into law enforcement?
I chose to go into law enforcement because I wanted an interesting career where I felt like I could help people and be a part of the community and be a positive part of some people's worst moments. The work and the involvement in the community always interests me. And as a younger person, when I started out, I was interested in what most young people are, and that's, catching the bad guy, if you will. And through the years, my role has changed and my interest has changed. But I wanted to be a part of the community and out and about and experiencing different things from day to day while at work, and like I said, to be a positive part of the community.
What aspects of this job do you enjoy the most?
What aspects I enjoy the most, that's changed over the years. When I was early on in the department, it was very much the excitement, being a part of different things every single day, going to calls and trying to solve problems. Grew into case building in my time at the Drug Task Force. A big part of all of it has always been the camaraderie and working with others. And as the years have gone on, I've really enjoyed the aspect of training other officers and deputies and becoming a leader. Over the time of when I started out young, of trying to build cases, and now my interest is as a leader in finding best policies and best ways to run an organization. So it's been fun for my interest to change as my roles have changed.
What is your greatest accomplishment as a part of law enforcement?
I think my greatest accomplishment is to always be able to change my goals and to be changing in my career. I could pick out a case here or there that I worked on, but as a whole, as my career, I've been able to experience different things throughout the department and be able to help others learn those things as well. So all in all, I guess to be able to be a leader and to help others further their career in law enforcement and again, be a positive part of the community.
How has COVID-19 affected your typical day on the job?
COVID-19 has affected my typical day on the job in a large way because since the early on stages I've been assigned here to the Emergency Operations Center. I've been here for 2 months, reporting here 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. for 2 months. This last week I've started coming a couple hours at a time, so I've been the liaison officer for all the law enforcement from the Emergency Operations Center. I've learned a lot. I've been able to work with the folks here at the Emergency Operations Center, who include all different types of disciplines. My whole life has changed like everybody else has, but as far as work, my day-to-day operations and responsibilities have changed. So it's opened my eyes to how the EOC works when it's activated, and I've felt lucky to be a part of the solution, if you will, and to work with the other people here.
And lastly, what advice would you give someone who's looking to go into the profession?
I would give this advice, that over the years, law enforcement changes, and it'll always change as the community's needs and needs change. Go with what your gut tells you. I remember when I started as a young officer in Detroit, some of the older officers were complaining about the changes. But from generation to generation, law enforcement changes. I still believe it's the best career I could have ever done, and I think it's the best job in the world. Be flexible, be excited, and go with the flow, and just realize things change. And if you can change with the times, you'll have a very fulfilled career and enjoy yourself.
So could you tell us a little bit about yourself, such as like your name or your rank?
Lieutenant Richard Oljanek. I'm with the St. Clair County Sheriff's Office Corrections Division.
Okay. And then how long have you been a part of law enforcement, and what positions or ranks have you worked on?
I hired in as a corrections officer in August of 2004, so I have just about 16 years of service now. I was a corrections deputy for approximately 5 years, and then I promoted to sergeant. I held the rank of sergeant for approximately 9 years before I promoted to my current rank of lieutenant now. And I've been a supervisor of pretty much every facet of the facility, including our prisoner transport, our housing, and our assessment center.
What aspects of this job do you enjoy the most?
There's a lot of aspects of the job that I really enjoy. It's difficult to limit them, but one of the things I really enjoy is working together as a team. All of the corrections staff really come together and we work as a united front, and that's one of the greatest things to have, is such a good relationship and a good place to work with good employees.
What challenges have you faced?
The challenges that we face in corrections, probably one of the biggest ones right now that we're facing is the COVID-19 virus that we're facing. That's obviously an ongoing issue right now, and it's nation and worldwide. So that's really new, and we're still learning on how we can combat that. The second biggest one that I would say is equally important is the mental health within the correctional facilities. It seems like that's a really big challenge, because the mental hospitals and the proper places for people with mental illness they don't necessarily have the capacity to handle them, and it seems like inevitably the police officers out there will make arrests when they have no choice or no other alternatives, and then they end up in incarceration. One of the issues with that is, as our facility is set up, we're not really equipped to deal with all of the mentally ill patients that we get. So I would have to say those would be our two biggest challenges.
And then finally, what does a typical day on the job look like?
We work 12-hour shifts, so the day starts off really early. I'm a lieutenant, so being in command, I supervise all of the sergeants who are overseeing the deputies. I have interaction with the inmates, interaction with the sergeants, interaction with the deputies, and I also have interaction with the administration. So my role is basically to do a little bit of everything, from making sure the inmates have everything that they need to making sure that the staff have everything that they need as well. So it's anywhere from getting equipment and supplies to making sure that everybody's doing what they're supposed to be doing, and making sure that everybody's lawfully held there and being treated the way that they're required to be treated.